Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Mindful Moments for Parents series. I wanted to begin just by honoring you for all that you are doing, for all the ways that you are continuing to show up for yourself and for your children, for all of the ways that you are navigating this incredibly overwhelming, challenging, and unprecedented time in our world. I know we've all come to love and hate that term. We're looking forward to precedented times. And I I just want to say you're not alone. And my name is Avi Yamasaki. I'm the program director of trauma informed programs in the Resilience in Your Student Experience Center. I have a 3-year-old son. His name's Hudson. And for the past 7 months, we have been trying to figure out how to do this. And his school has been shut down and continues to be shut down. And I don't know that we're going to feel comfortable sending him back until that feels like a safe option for our family. So um, we have been navigating the ebbs and flows of me and my partner working full time and caring for our son full time. And I just wanted to tell you that I support you and that you deserve support and resources amidst this. And so today I was hoping we could do a joint practice together. So this is something that you can return to if you ever need a moment of self-compassion or some time to tend to yourself and your needs. And then I thought I would go over some of the things in our toolkit in case they might feel supportive to you. So thank you so much for tuning in, for joining me today. Thank you for all the ways that you are showing up right now. Know that you, right now, just as you are, is absolutely enough. And parents deserve so much care and kindness and compassion right now because there just is no roadmap for what we're currently navigating. So just sending you a lot of love and a lot of support and a lot of care. I want to invite you to begin our meditation today in whatever way would feel supportive to you. So maybe you are seated, and if you'd like, you might take a moment to notice both of your feet on the ground. Know that you are strong and resilient and supported. Know that you are never alone in your experience. I want to invite you to rest a palm on your heart and a palm on your belly. Maybe notice the rise and fall of your beautiful breath. Maybe this is the first moment that you have had to yourself the entire day. So can you send yourself a moment of compassion and gratitude just for arriving, just for taking out this time, carving out this space for you today? Can you take in your own compassion? All of you are constantly giving and giving and giving of yourselves, whether it's to your work or to school or to your kids. So in this moment, can you allow yourself to feel held and supported? Some of us might melt right into that experience of feeling held and supported. And others of us might experience some resistance, and that's okay. Today, can you honor whatever might be arising in your practice? Maybe bringing awareness to your mood or your energy levels, to the level of physical or emotional energy that you might be carrying with you in your practice today. Know that there is space for all of it here. You can take big, deep sighs. Really releasing the day, releasing anything that does not serve you. Letting it roll off of your shoulders and onto the safety and support of the space beneath you. Take some time here to check in with your breath, to check in with your heart. To notice the quality of your breath. To notice where you might be feeling ease or constriction. And with compassionate awareness, starting to bring some movement into your body. And as you make your way through center on your inhale, I invite you to draw your chin up in a circular motion. And exhale to circle the chin down towards the body. So just continuing these neck rolls at your own pace. You can move fast or slow. You can reverse the direction at any time. You might even bring your palms to the backs of your shoulders, just noticing any areas of stress or tension that you might be carrying there in your body, and offering a little gentle self massage or any additional support to any areas of the body that need a little extra attention right now. As parents, especially, we spend so much of our day neglecting the needs of our bodies. So can you take time to really listen and honor what is your body communicating to you about what you need? And can you respond in ways that feel kind and compassionate? Maybe bringing your palms to the tops of your shoulders. You're welcome to draw your elbows out. Notice all of this space within and around your beautiful heart. And whenever you feel ready, coming back through center and taking a moment here to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe take a scan over your day and think about, what do you need in this moment? Peace, sleep, strength, energy, coffee, time. It's different for each of us, so take a moment to identify what your intention means to you. And if you prefer, you might recite a mantra or an affirmation. Maybe it is an anchor or a safe visualization, anything that you can return to throughout your practice to help you reorient and drop back home into your body. Really, really beautiful, everyone. Take your time. And breathe. Maybe you take a moment to rest a palm over your heart and a palm over your belly. Noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Noticing the space and the expansion. It's okay if there's lots of noise around you. If you hear your kids in the background. Maybe you're finding your first quiet moment today. Wherever you are is perfect. Finding what feels available and accessible to you today. When you feel ready on your inhale, I invite you to extend your arms overhead, maybe interlace the palms, and find a gentle stretch side to side. You're welcome to keep the grip, or maybe you'd like to take some movements to the left and to the right. Maybe notice what's going on in the side of your body. Finding the length, finding the depth. Beautiful. And you can find any other expressions that are naturally coming up for you. Take your time, there's no rush. And when you're ready, bringing awareness to your breath, bringing some awareness to the physical sensations, bringing some depth and beautiful awareness to your needs. To remind yourself that you are enough, to remind yourself that you are absolutely your greatest resource, that you deserve this time to refuel, to re-energize, to restore, to assess and honor your needs, to replenish, and to show up even fuller and more available for your family, for your children. And breathe. Finding a few moments here of silent meditation. Noticing your inhales and exhales, allowing them to be your guide. When your body feels ready, there's absolutely no rush. Maybe bring your palms to the center of your heart, hands at your heart. May we live our lives compassionately. Hands at your mouth, may we speak words of truth and of kindness. And hands at your third eye center, the light in me always honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for that brief practice. I hope that it gave you a few moments to restore and just to bring some awareness to your needs, which I know are not feeling like they can be prioritized right now. So you deserve it. I have a few, our toolkit up here, which we put together with ACE and the Rise Center. And so I just wanted to kind of go through a few of these things with you. And this is also going to be available on the Rise website. So you can return to it at any time if some of these tools feel supportive to revisit. As I said in the beginning, I think that, we all can find a lot of comfort in knowing that we're not alone right now. We're certainly not having uniform experiences based on our current circumstances and resources and what's going on with our families. There's so many factors that are playing into what our situation looks like right now. But just knowing that nothing about this time is normal and that you deserve so much care and compassion, and just reminding yourself of that constantly. Something that helps me in moments, especially when I'm very irritated, when I know I'm out of my window of tolerance, when my husband tells me that my empathy meter is in the red. I consider myself a pretty compassionate person, but when he tells me that, it's usually an indicator that my irritability is showing up in different ways, whether that's almost losing it with him or, just not being my best self. So it gives me an opportunity to identify what the trigger is and gauge my window of tolerance. So the window of tolerance is a concept used in trauma theory. And when we're in our window of tolerance, we feel good. We can perhaps feel our feet on the ground. We can make informed decisions about what we need. We might feel clarity around what those needs are. We might be able to communicate clearly about our needs. Um, and we tend to move in and out of states of dysregulation. So when we're moving out of our window of tolerance, we could be moving up into states of hyper arousal where we're having increased anxiety, flashbacks, hypervigilance. When we move into hypoarousal, we might be feeling lethargic, isolation, depression, flat affect. So, really being attuned physiologically, your body is usually a good indicator of when you are in your window and outside of your window. So, really taking a moment to pause, taking a time out for yourself, inviting in a few deep breaths or a walk around the block just to check in. What is the trigger right now? Let's get to the root of it. Let's identify the fact that I am out of my window of tolerance right now. And what does this moment require of me? So that is a question that I come back to often, is pausing, especially in states of overwhelm. I tend to spend a lot of time in hyper arousal. I'm a very anxious person. So when I stop and pause and ask myself, what does this moment require of me? It just gives me some awareness around my needs. And then I can respond in ways that feel kind and compassionate. Like, this moment requires mom taking a break or mom going and on a quick drive to get a cup of coffee, or sit in my car alone and listen to some music, or take a walk around the block. I mean, for me, usually it's that I'm craving some solitude or some time where, either my supervisor doesn't need something of me, or my son doesn't need something of me, or my partner doesn't need something of me. And we're all in this home together all the time for the past 8 months. So of course, we're going to have these frequent moments throughout this time where we feel like we're going to lose it because we're just not wired to function like this. And our partner and our children, they're not designed to fulfill and meet all of our needs. It's why we need our social connections. It's why we need our solitude, why we need our coping practices, because all of these things contribute to us thriving. So you might also take a moment and just do a journal and brain dump. It might be just kind of journaling out like what you feel angry about in the moment, what you feel irritated about in the moment, or maybe it's just a free flow journaling of whatever is coming up for you. You might even feel empowered to make a list of, okay, these are the things I want to prioritize today. It's okay if one thing gets done on this list, if nothing gets done on this list. Even sometimes just having it listed out and pen to paper, just feeling it be very tangible can feel very resourcing. And it's like, if there's one thing I can control right now, it's just having in front of me the things that I hope to accomplish. And even if I don't accomplish them, it's okay, but I have them written out and I can see them and I can feel them, right? So I think even just giving ourselves those little moments throughout the day where we can have some semblance of control, because we're navigating a time in our life where we absolutely have no control. And so it can feel very empowering to reclaim some of those choices that we have for ourselves and for our family. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to the next page. So I kind of talked about some of these things. Oops, it went too fast. Okay, so that's when self-care comes in, right? What does that look like for you, and how can you do it in ways that feel accessible to you? Because some of us are very limited in not being able to leave the house, or we've only got a few minutes. So even in that journaling list, can you take some time to write out. If I have 5 minutes, here are my go-to tools. I'm going to listen to a meditation on my phone, or I'm going to turn off all of my devices, or I'm going to, cancel my Zoom meetings today, or I'm going to space out my Zoom meetings so I'm not running so quickly. I'm not back to back feeling the Zoom fatigue, feeling like I'm also trying to tend to everybody else's needs around me. Like, where can you create more space in your schedule? I'm going to read you a couple of other things that are on my list that I've been doing to tend to my mental health in ongoing ways, just because it has become a priority for me. Um, Something I've been doing is weaving self-care practices throughout my day instead of just at the end, because I used to think of self-care as something that I did at the end of my day when I had already reached the point of breakdown and exhaustion. And now it's so critical for me and my family to find ways to resource myself throughout the entire day, even if I just have a few minutes to take a deep breath, or to have a few moments in the quiet, or to drink my coffee alone. I've been really fiercely protecting my mornings. So I wake up before my son and my husband, and just, I have a few moments to sit in my garden and drink coffee. I sometimes come inside and stretch or do a cardio workout, anything that's just gonna, give me a little bit of energy for my day. So I invite you to think about, if you could reclaim your mornings and just wake up, even if you wake up 10 minutes, 15 minutes before your family, what would you do at that time? And, trying to avoid checking social media or checking email as the first thing that you do when you get out of bed. Instead, giving yourself the time to wake up and to, start your days in a way that feels restorative as opposed to activating. um, I listen to my body when it's time to shut down all the screens. I mean, sometimes I feel very optimistic, like, okay, my son went to sleep and now I'm going to get all the work done that I didn't get to do today. And, sometimes it's just being really honest with ourselves that we're just not going to be able to continue in the same capacity that we did before the pandemic, or before, the tragedy of racial uprisings in our world. I mean, there's so much collective trauma, stress, and overwhelm, and so many of us are beyond our surge capacity, that, what we're navigating is not acute, it's chronic, and it's like grieving for an extended period of time, which means everything about our our school environments, our work environments, has to be renegotiated and reimagined and re-envisioned to meet the moment. Um, I've been saying no a lot. As a woman of color and working in student affairs, I've been asked to and tapped to do a lot of different things. And, honestly, we have to be honest with ourselves about our capacity right now, and not push ourselves beyond our limits, and be honest about, this is what I can commit to during this time. I do a lot of pre-recorded stuff because that gives me the flexibility to, sometimes live options are not available to me because my son is like running around like a tornado. And so, just thinking, advocating for yourself with your supervisor or at school with, what are some different ways that you can work through this time in a way that feels accessible and on your terms, if that's an option for you. Um, Hydrating, recognizing that I need a lot more rest than I think that I do. So being really compassionate with myself when I feel extremely fatigued at 2 p.m., and knowing that it's okay to take a nap in the middle of the day, and being mindful about the way that I consume news, and, taking in the pockets that I need to take in, and, noticing when I'm falling in cycles of despair or hopelessness. Um, honoring my boundaries. So I think I spoke to that before about just knowing your capacity and what you can commit to. And letting myself experience joy with my family. That's been a big part of it. We take beautiful nature walks. I'm really committed to deeply nurturing my friendships and my relationships. And I fiercely protect my time with my family on the weekends. I mean, really, we have to do as much as we can to create some separation between work and home wherever we can, because it's all so intertwined. So what are the ways that you're really blocking off your time, segmenting your time, and doing your best to create some separation there and some really solid, firm boundaries? Um, and something that I do is acknowledge the systems of oppression that create barriers and recognize when I'm unfairly blaming myself, right? Because there's so many systems of oppression that are in place that make everything we're navigating right now impossible. And so knowing when it's a greater systemic thing versus I'm taking this on as my own and it doesn't belong to me, and reminding myself that I'm enough. I'm enough. I am amazing. I'm doing the very best that I can. I mean, those mantras and those self affirmations really go a long way, especially in those very overwhelming moments. And we all have those days where we're like, I'm hanging on by a thread today. Um, I'm sure that none of us are alone in that. And some days you're just not going to have the capacity or the bandwidth. And so shifting your expectations, um, inviting in those moments of self compassion, and then communicating those needs, right? So, can you take time to get clear on your needs and communicate with your partner, with your supervisor, with your support system? Um, whether this is a part of your journaling practice, or if you are noticing some patterns within your schedule of like, okay, I can do some of my most productive work at this time. This is when my child is in virtual learning, or this is when I can schedule my conference calls, or I need to flex my hours because, actually I need to do most of my work in the evening. So you take some time to think about, if you are doing some self advocating and communicating these needs to your supervisor or to other people. What would that look like? Don't be afraid to ask for what you need right now to make this more manageable, because you deserve it. And reach out for support. Know that whether it's texting your friends. I know I have a group of moms that, we're on a text stream, and it's just so validating to know that we can write some of the most absurd things that happen throughout the day and know that we won't be judged. Just know that we're going to be fully lifted in community, and that's everything. Sometimes that's all I need to completely reset my day. You could join, there's a lot of online support groups or even social media groups that have a lot of supportive content for parents right now. I think just, again, finding that comfort and knowing that we're never alone in this experience, and that there are multiple people who understand and who are available to be that sounding board. Can you block off and protect your time? So blocking off time on your calendar to take a nap, to exercise, to go for a walk, to read for pleasure, and communicating that to your family about, 3 times a week for an hour. This is my time. Please respect it and protect it fiercely. And, try to put your devices away. Or, I can't go to my yoga studio anymore, obviously. So something I try to do is fiercely protect that hour that I want to get my yoga class in. And I escape to the bedroom and just, that's my time. Please don't bother mommy during this time, so she can have some sanity and be more pleasant to be around. And I noticed, at least for myself, that it can be very easy to forget about our basic needs, eating, hydrating, resting. Sometimes it even just feels nice to play calming music in the background. So really envision, what is this? It's going to be different for each of us, right? So thinking about, adding those elements to your day that make it a little more pleasant and a little more restorative. Sometimes I like to have the beach waves in the background or change the background on my computer to make me feel like I'm somewhere tropical. We got to get creative with our visualizations and what we're surrounding ourselves with right now. So basic needs and really creating more comfort in your environment. And your kids are also, of course, feeling the impact of everything that's going on right now. And it's okay to pause and tend to everybody's needs. Just say, we're gonna skip the school, we're gonna, skip this meeting, and we're just gonna be together as a family and go do something that is tending to all of us right now, because that's what we need. Right? So I think flexibility, compassion, grace, support, all of that goes a long way right now. And just I know everybody's situation is different in terms of what feels available and accessible, but I hope some of these things can support you in your journey right now of managing this pandemic and managing being home with your children and remote learning or small children. I know we're all on a varied spectrum in terms of what we're navigating, but I'm here for you. I am rooting for you and sending you so much care. Take good care. Thanks for joining me.